Welcome to 2023. The beginning of the new year is such an exciting time. It's like a fresh page in a brand new journal or new car smell. It just carries so much promise and the opportunity to shed whatever happened last year and just start again with a nice long runway to work with. So you may be feeling really excited like I am about this annual opportunity to hit the reset button and start the new year in an empowered way. But at the same time, you might be feeling just a little overwhelmed with all of those possibilities, and you might be looking for a little guidance on exactly how to decide to approach the new year to make the most of it. So if that is you, then you are in the right place, because in this video, I'm going to be walking you through a simple 5-step process for how to reset your life in the new year and plan for your best year ever. And I want you to stay the whole way through for all 5 steps, because the 5th step is the one that is never talked about in this kind of content, but it's absolutely essential. And in fact, I think it's the make or break. Now, if you've watched me here on YouTube before, then welcome back. But if you are new to my channel, then welcome. I'm Kim Foster and I'm an MD turned coach. And on this channel, I talk about wellness and business and designing a beautiful life for yourself. So if those things resonate with you, then I am glad that you found me here. All right, so without further ado, let's get started with our 5-step process for resetting your life in the new year. Now, with these 5 steps, I would love for you to get out your journal and work through them in that way. That is what I love to do, but it doesn't have to be a journal. Of course, it could be a Google Doc on your computer or really any other method that works for you, just whatever you need to get you into that space of introspection and planning. Now, the first step is to reflect on last year. Now, when you do this, you want to be careful about unstructured reflection that can lead you down a path of regret. I want you to take stock of your year in a meaningful way, to really highlight the things that you learned and to look at the ways that you grew as a person, and to look at the good and the bad, but in a constructive way. So I want you to ask yourself, what worked for you in the previous year? What was a success? What went really well last year that you need to do more of? What kinds of opportunities do you want to continue to say yes to? And also, what didn't work? What got in your way? And what lessons did you learn? So based on those experiences, make some notes of what you need to do less of this year. What's a distraction that you need to avoid? And what do you need to say no to this year? I know we all tend to make to-do lists, but as part of this process, I want to invite you to make a stop doing list based on your experiences from last year. Ask yourself, what are you no longer available to do in the year ahead? Now from there, let's move on to step 2, which is creating your big picture vision for 2023. So in your journal or wherever you're using, I want you to make some notes on how you want to feel this year. What do you want to achieve? What are the most important things that you want to make happen in your life? Now, we're not getting down into that nitty-gritty level just yet. This is more big picture thinking. Personally, I find it really helpful to imagine myself at this time exactly a year from now. So what do I want to be celebrating? How do I want to feel? What do I want to be able to look back on the year prior and feel amazing that I achieved it, or that it happened in that way? Now, some other tools that you can use for this step could be a vision board, either like a physical vision board or something online like Pinterest, for example. And this is also a great moment to choose a word of the year, or some people prefer to choose a mantra of the year. But this is your overall vision. This is how you want the year to feel and to look, and what you want to experience and achieve in big brush strokes. So once you've got a clear vision of what you want the year to look and feel like, it's time to set some very specific goals and intentions to help you get there. And that is step 3. So my first warning here is, don't overestimate what you can accomplish in a year. If you try to jam your list of goals way too full of too many things, then you're going to get overwhelmed and just might not achieve any of them. Instead, I want you to choose your 5 top goals for the year. So start by doing just a brain download. Set a timer for 10 minutes and just brain dump every single goal that you would like to accomplish that will lead you closer to your big picture vision for the year. Then review the list and group like with like, and what are your contender goals and which ones are really actually similar and which goals are actually an action step to help you reach a goal. For example, a goal of walking 10,000 steps a day is actually an action step that will help you to achieve a bigger goal of weight loss or more energy or improved blood pressure or whatever your particular goal is. So once you've got your brain dump all completed, then it's time for what I like to call the goals edit. So prune your big list of goals to just 5 and make them as specific as you can. For each goal that you are considering, I want you to think about why this goal is important and what will achieving this goal actually do for your life. And also think about what will help you make this goal happen. So write this all down. This is really important. Who will you have to become? And what support will you need? And what else could help? Who else could help you with this? Is there certain training that you will need to achieve this goal? And what habits do you need to adopt or upgrade in order to achieve this goal? Okay, so once you've got your set of 5 key goals for the year, it's time to make an actual game plan. So step 4 is to create your plan for the year. And this is where we do get down to the nitty-gritty. Now that you know what you want to achieve, let's make a plan so that it actually happens. Now, the nature of your exact game plan, it's going to be individual here. Some people might choose to map out the whole entire year, month by month, or quarter by quarter, and others may go with a different format for their game plan. I personally recommend working on your plan in 90-day increments because let's face it, things can change. So I create kind of like a looser game plan for the whole year, but I really focus in on the first 90 days of the year in a lot more detail. And then I make a point of revisiting the game plan every 90 days just to recalibrate and refocus. So when you do it like this, you're not going to get so far off track with your goals and your intentions for the year, which can definitely happen when you only look at this stuff just once a year. So when making your game plan, you want to decide which projects you're going to focus on each month or each 90 days. And it's important here to limit what you are going to focus on. It's never a good idea to have a ton of projects on the go at any given time because, of course, that just leads to overwhelm and really not working on anything at all. So when making your plan, use a tool that works for you. This could be an online calendar or paper or whatever works. I personally work out most of the big picture things in my journal, but then I map out all my projects inside the project management system that I use, which is called Asana. But you can use whichever tool you prefer, of course. It just needs to be something that will help you to keep track of your projects and chunk them down into bite-sized pieces, which is super important. Okay, so this brings us to the final step, which is step 5, and it is this: harnessing the power of your mindset to actually make it all happen. Because this is really what makes the difference between whether you follow through on all of your intentions or whether you don't. You can have the most thoughtful and empowering set of goals and the most beautiful, detailed game plan in the world, but if there's something about your mindset that is going to block you from actually seeing it through, it's not going to happen. So let's talk about this in a bit more detail because this will be your most powerful step. For one thing, this is the time to anticipate potential obstacles and to plan for them. So you're asking yourself things like, what might stop you from achieving what you want? And what limiting beliefs do you have that might hold you back? So this could be any number of things, maybe a specific fear or imposter syndrome or concerns about judgment, or something else, along those lines. I want you to really identify and investigate any potentially self-sabotaging thoughts or beliefs. For example, let's say you have a goal that has to do with getting more active this year. And one of the ways that you were going to work on this was to join a really great yoga studio in your town. But if you have a story that all the people who go to that yoga studio are already fit and lithe and flexible and you aren't all that flexible yet, then deep down, perhaps you're going to feel like you don't belong, which means that you're not going to show up. Now, you could just force yourself to go and grit your teeth and try to make yourself do it, but honestly, how long will you be able to sustain that? A much more effective strategy is to actually First of all, identify your specific limiting belief, whatever it is, and then work on changing that limiting belief. Change that story and replace it with something way more empowering. Something like, all the fit people at this studio got this way because they showed up, and that is the journey that I'm on right now. Here's another example. Let's say that you want to stop eating so much takeout, but you have an ingrained story about yourself that you are not a very good cook. Then you're just going to carry on living according to that limiting belief. Instead, replacing that story with something much more empowering like, I'm smart and resourceful and I can learn how to cook a few simple, healthy meals. Or even simply, I'm not a very good cook yet. Those things will be way more effective at getting you where you want to go. Now, there is a lot more involved in changing your limiting beliefs, and I think that that is going to be the subject of a future video, but for now, the really important thing here is to uncover all of those limiting beliefs and those mindset blocks that are going to get in the way of you taking action on your goals and your intentions. Because the truth is, we all have these beliefs operating under the surface, and that's whether we're aware of them or not. And when we are not aware of them, they just continue to influence our daily actions and decisions unconsciously. In our own minds, they sound like stone cold fact. In your mind, it can sound like a voice that says, you're a quitter. You are probably going to give up after a week. Or you've tried this before and it didn't work. What makes you think that this time is going to be different? These thoughts are not the truth, but until you identify them and really examine them, you will think that they are the truth, and you will never be able to make any true changes until you do identify the stories that are shaping your self-image and your identity and influencing your decisions. It's crucial to tune into your mindset and uncover the unconscious stories that you are telling yourself about your health, your daily habits, your self-worth, your lifestyle, all of those things. Because like I say, this is your operating system and it is controlling your behavior, whether you know it or not. Okay, that brings us to the end of my 5-step process. So let's just recap those steps. First is reflect on last year. 2 is create your big picture vision for the year. Then set specific goals and intentions, and remember, don't choose too many goals for a given year. Then put together your annual success game plan, ideally working in 90-day blocks. And finally, step 5 is to actually make it all happen by examining your mindset and identify the limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging stories that will stop you from taking action and making real change. Now, if you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments below. Does it help to have these 5 steps laid out in this way? I would also love to know your thoughts on step number 5 in particular. What is one limiting belief that you've identified in yourself that you are going to eliminate this year? Let me know in the comments below this video. I would love to hear about it. Okay, that's a wrap for this video. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you again very soon.